So guys, you join me with this beautiful Yamaha R1. This is the 2020 model, and yeah, I'm going to take it out, give you my thoughts and impressions on the bike and what I think of it. I mean, I've come away from sports bikes. My last bike was an S1000RR. Currently got a Super Duke, and if you are subscribed to my channel, you know that already. A little bit of a plug there. Please consider to subscribe and like this video. It really means a lot. But I'm just going to give my 2 cents on this bike. I'm going to put as well on the screen right now the statistics of this bike in the sense of horsepower, also the amount of torque that it generates and so on. So if you're interested in all that. But what I'm really going to do for you is to give you a real world review of this fantastic bike. My mate Stuart sent it to me Friday afternoon. I finished work, I got a load of fuel, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to go out on his R1 as you do. And I actually don't know this area at all. Check I'm recording. Yep, so I'm not just talking to myself, but listen to this. I'm in B mode, which is girl mode. Listen to this. And that's been decatted as well. It's got the Akra Exhaust. Absolutely just sounds. And this bike isn't going to do this bike any justice. So, as I say, historically I had a Yamaha. I'm on a Yamaha. Historically, I don't know which way to go here. I had, my last bike was a BMW S1000RR, and I kind of got that bike because it was so comfy, in the sense that the handlebars were really wide. It wasn't too much pain on your back. I could tour on it. For a sports bike, for a super bike, it was pretty comfortable. Now with this, straight away, with this sort of stuff going on, this is not the bike you want to be on. Should I go that way? This is not the bike you want to be on. It's like the ergonomics of it, it's just unforgiving. It's like I can feel the wrists on my back, I can feel like the weight on my wrists. Naturally, there's a lot of, my back is a little bit uncomfy. I mean, I've only been on it for like 2 seconds, and I can tell already that I know that this bike is not built for this sort of stuff. And that's again a reason why I actually got rid of my S1000RR and chopped it for the Super Duke, was because these bikes really, like, you've really got to want one, because otherwise, you know, like little things when you just want to pop out and have a cup of tea, or you know, go and get a pint of milk or something, this bike just isn't the bike to do it on. It's just not the bike to do it on. It's like, even now, I really feel like I want to get going. I want to, you know, get on a track. At this position, you know, the foot pegs are quite high, as you'd expect. And I think, oh God, you're either going to love me or hate me, but I think a lot of people that get this bike are thinking about what people think of them on a bike, if that makes sense. Because when you pull up, there's no bike on the planet, like sports bike, that is as good looking as the sports bike, like an R1 or a Panigale or the S1000RR. All of those bikes, they just look better than any Super Naked, hands down. So that's the first thing. The other thing as well, I guess, like, look, that there is nothing like sports bike or sports bike like super bike power. Like the way this isn't the first time I've ridden this bike, the way this thing handles is like oh my god, it is amazing, and it makes me smile, like how quick it is, how planted it is. It's got loads of grunt. This has got a cross-plane crank engine in it, which I'm sure if you're watching this video you know what that means, but that was introduced in 2009, patented by Yamaha, and rightly so, and that is why this bike is so good. That cross-plane crank, it is absolutely fantastic, and it is ridiculously fast. But as a road bike, and again that's why, I mean, my mate who owns this now, I was literally just speaking with him, and oh, that noise, oh, it's so addictive. I was just speaking with my mate Stuart now, who owns this bike, and he basically said that, you know, he hasn't rode it for a month. He just bought it. He doesn't like it for the road, like general kind of, you know, riding. And I see a video of an older guy who had an R1, and what happened is, like, when you get past the honeymoon period of riding a bike, so what I mean is, like, now my 25-year-old self, I would have got on this and I'd have been like, oh, do you know what, I want to buy one, I want one. And then what happens is, when you start living with the bike and you're like, oh, I'm going to zip round to my girlfriend's and get a blowy, or whatever it is you're doing, and you start living with the bike after that first month or two, and you just start living with the bike where, you know, you're not on a test ride anymore, you don't want to be Valentino Rossi going around corners. You're like, do you know what, have I made the right decision? Because and again, when you're on your own, like, just, you know, getting a cup of coffee and you're not with your mates and you're not, you know, having real fun and all that stuff, and people aren't looking at your bike going, oh wow, look at that bike. You know, once all that sort of stuff goes and you're on your own with it, that's when the conversations start sort of coming into the brain of, have I made the right decision in buying this bike? And that's why personally I come away from the super sports, because the truth is, you just don't need this R1 if, like, when you've got things like the Super cars and like the Aprilia 209s and all that sort of stuff. You just don't need these bikes, the truth be known. And I think you've really got to want an R1. I mean, even now, like, I've literally been on this bike. What is he doing? Come on, mate. There you go. I've been on this bike maybe 10 minutes, and it's not overly bad in traffic. Like what I'm doing now, it's not overly bad. The throttle is a little bit snatchy, but it's not like unbearable. The thing what I can feel most on this bike right now is you're so lent forward. Like, I can really feel the weight on my wrists, and the bottom part of my back is like, oh, it's like I want to get off already. I've only been on it for a little while, and that's because I've got things like a Super Duke. And yeah, look, I can't ride the Super Duke as fast. Like, if I'm racing myself, I would definitely win races more so on this than I would on my Super Duke. There's no two ways about it.
Now, before you start crying into your R1 hankies and crying into your R1 pillow about this review, I do actually love this bike. I think it's a fantastic bike, and it's everything that you expect. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly quick. It gives you smiles for miles, even though you're probably going to have a backache at the end of it. And it is absolutely fantastic in the corners. It's everything you would expect. But it's just not necessary today with things like the Super Duke 1290R, Aprilia Tuono, even Yamaha's MT10. I don't see how these bikes are relevant anymore today. If you're going to be on a racetrack trying to win races at Brands Hatch and Salmon, this is the machine for you. But otherwise, I would look steering towards the Super Nakeds. Now guys, I'm interested to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think that Super Nakeds are the way forward? Do you think Super Sports are the be all and end all? Please let me know in the comments below. Consider to subscribe to this channel if you like this content, and also give me a thumbs up. Means a lot. But apart from that, I will see you in the next one.